So let's talk about synchronicities. What are synchronicities and how to understand them? But before we head into the topic, show review. Pranam, Namaste, my name is Garret. Before I start the topic off, please make sure you guys remember to hit like, subscribe and comment your learnings in the comment section below. I'm dedicated to make 4 videos a week to spread more light and positivity out there to the world. It's also nice to know where you guys are tuning in from so we could connect within this space, okay? So without further ado, let's hit into the topic of understanding synchronicities, okay? So what is a synchronicity? So synchronicities, right, happens when coincidental events actually occur well outside of chance, okay? Or it could be when repeating things occur in your reality. So perhaps maybe you've seen certain things happen before in your life and it constantly appear again, okay? Or it is when a thought is unintentionally mirrored in your reality. So perhaps maybe you thought of someone, then suddenly that person appear in front of you. So things like that, okay? So synchronicities also means it is falling together in time. Okay, so time and actual reality coexist. So it happens like that. Okay, so external events actually fall together at the right time to provide a heads up or some kind of message to you. Okay, so it is like amazing coincidences that actually occur right outside of chance, like a billion to 1 kind of chance kind of thing. Okay, so it must most of the time, right, we tend to ignore and dismiss away this as mere coincidence, right, and we forget them. Okay, so perhaps maybe we see certain repeating numbers, then we thought, it's just numbers. Okay, then we see, just ignore it. Then that perhaps the number is trying to tell you like a certain message or a certain decision that you're about to make, okay, or you're supposed to, that number is trying to tell you that you are about to encounter certain situations, okay, in your next few hours or so. Okay, so things like that, we may dismiss it and we may ignore it, but it is a certain meaning out there for you. Okay, so these occurrences, right, is actually trying to point over to our reality being far more than what we think it is. Okay, us being a passive being in a reality that is happening to us. Okay, when we are really fully interactive with reality, right, once we interact with our reality, okay, with deeper aspects of mind, creating as we go along. Okay, so I've mentioned it before in a lot of my TikTok videos, what we think on the inner world, or what we are in the inner world, it reflects to our outer world. So when we try to interact by changing this thing, then everything along in the outer world will also start to reflect change. Okay, so one of the famous psychologists, right, Carl Jung, okay, one of my favorites, okay, says that actually synchronicities, right, is more than chance and less than causalities. Okay, so it means that synchronicities are extremely unlikely to happen, that we don't cause them to happen through our own actions. Okay, so take for instance, I've been showing a lot on my Facebook, like all the angel numbers I see on the roads. Even my baby girl's weight is also an angel number. So all this, I can't do it, right? There's no way that I'm so supreme, so super powerful that I could create this number to appear it in all my surroundings, right? So things like that is actually very unlikely to happen. Okay, and by the way, my baby girl is beside me right now, so she might be producing some sounds. Okay, so you might hear it. Okay, it cannot be accounted by physical or material cause as well. Okay, yet they have a meaningful connection to the inner reality of the individual. So take for instance, the angel numbers may represent different meaning for different individual. Okay, so some of the quick examples of synchronous events that could happen or that have happened. Okay, so let's start off with the classic example from Carl Jung. Okay, when Carl Jung was actually he was interacting with his clients, right? Who is actually describing a pricely piece of jewelry, okay, that is in the form of a golden scarab beetle. Okay, it's a beetle, okay, that she have received in a dream prior to meeting up with Carl Jung, okay, the night before. Then when Carl Jung actually heard the tapping sound on his window, right, he opened up the window and suddenly flew in a beetle closely resembling the scarab beetle. Okay, so but that is actually considered a synchronous event. Okay, but it is a thought that this happened for a reason, because this occurrence actually broke down the client's mental barriers towards therapy. Okay, because she had doubts trying to seek therapy, and by having that dream, okay, of that scarab beetle, and by seeing the synchronous event of the beetle flying in, she actually broke down the mental barrier and started to seek treatment and therapy, and she was more successfully able to heal up in the whole process. Okay, and some quick examples that has happened to me in the past for me. Okay, so close to the end of last year, because I was jobless for a while due to the pandemic, right? And I was actually approached at the end of the year last year by my wife's boss, which is currently my boss right now, to work for him in a position that is not an interior design role for me, which is something that I don't enjoy doing. So I was a bit reluctant as I was trying to compare it with another opportunity from another firm. Okay. However, when I was being offered with this opportunity, right, I was also watching a YouTube video. Turns out that video was also from my master. Okay, and he was sharing certain things about treading the comfort zone, leaving the comfort zone, and trying out different roles. Okay, that I should listen to my gut feeling. Okay, so initially I had the hesitation. I was saying no, I will not accept this role. But there was this weird feeling that was telling me that I should accept this, and this intuition was from within, and I can clearly say that I should try out. So the moment I had the thought of trying it out, straight away on the roads I've been seeing a lot of 111s. Okay, and it's kind of trying to tell me that I've made the right decision. And soon enough, turns out my wife was pregnant, and at that point we discovered around somewhere in January, when it was close to the start of the year, where I should start working with this company, okay, with her. And turns out that working together would also allow us to drive to the city together, and I could also help to keep a lookout for her when she's working at the place due to the pregnancy. You see, so all these are synchronicities that is trying to help make your life a lot better. It's just whether or not you observe it or not. So other occurrences that has happened to me is like when I was also coaching one of my ex-boss. Okay, he seems to be facing a lot of family problems, right? So each time before he would call me to share his problems, right, because it's going to be a lengthy call. Every time he calls me, it's going to be at least 2 to 3 hours kind of conversation, and it's going to be quite stressful. He'll be sharing a lot of stuff that is going to be deeply hurtful for him, and he's going through a lot of trauma. So each time before he calls me, right, I would always on the road, I will see a lot of 777s, and it will always tell me that sooner or later I should protect my energies as well. So soon enough, that night he would give me a call, and we will have a conversation for about 2 to 3 hours. Yeah. So all these occurrences are much more greater than chance, you see. And synchronicities, right, often occur when reoccurring themes happen in our life. Okay, so perhaps maybe drawing attention to something, perhaps a friend that has mentioned a topic and you suddenly saw it on YouTube, Facebook, or even on reading it from a book or a magazine. So you can always say that your phone is spying on you, but then again, what are the chances of your phone spying on you? Why spy on you instead of spying on all the other super powerful people out there in the world, right? So these seem like reality is trying to draw an attention to something. Okay, so synchronicities, right, can also illustrate the fluidity of time and space. Okay, it can also occur perhaps maybe before we meant to take notice of something, or perhaps meant to do something, so it would occur in that instance. So perhaps maybe you want, for me, when I wanted to say no to the job offer, then the gut feeling tell me that I should try to accept a new role, a new position. Then suddenly all the triple ones cut to a gear. So all those synchronicities are trying to point me to the right direction. You see? So they occur in the past, so we take action in the future. Okay? So synchronicities can manifest itself by our own inner beliefs. It can also be through our thoughts and themes going on in our life, as if our subconscious mind or our higher self is trying to interact with our reality, like a constant interplay between consciousness and reality. So same thing, the conscious or our higher self up above trying to interconnect with our reality, so our lives gets better if we respond to this synchronicity. The subjective becomes the objective. Our inner world manifests in our outer world. As above, so below. I'm pretty sure you've heard of these things before, as per the hermetic principle of correspondence. Okay, your inner subconscious world is reflecting in your reality, illustrating the interactivity of the world via the mind and our consciousness. Okay, life is not happening to us. Know that we are the life and the soul of reality. Okay, so synchronicities, right, often occur when we are not looking for it. So this is because the act of looking for it, right, means your ego is at play, and when your ego is at play, right, you're not in a state of receiving, because your ego is you're more powerful than the universe. So why would the universe want to give you signs when your ego is looking up for it, right? So we are only looking, therefore the receiving does not manifest. Okay, so many people see patterns, number patterns especially, some different reoccurring numbers. So that happens to me a lot. Okay, every day, every single moment, each time I look at the watch, sometimes it'll be 444, 333, 222. So things like that is trying to tell you certain message. Okay, and I will be creating a video on all these different numbers and what it means down the road. Okay, but if we start to assign meanings to these number patterns, they manifest in reality as our subconscious needs to see this message at that time in an effort to feel better, or to succeed, or for some to actually heal up. Okay, so certain people are just waiting for a cue to take action, and certain times it's these cues that make them move forward. Okay, so perhaps certain people wants to seek treatment in health or whatever aspects, they see certain numbers, they call it a sign, and they move forward. Okay, so it's like our subconscious mind trying to interact with reality and communicates with us that way. Okay, our subconscious mind then manipulates and changes reality in order to communicate with us. Our higher self too can play this. So remember that this role as our higher self is also part of us. Remember. So our inner self and our higher self can manipulate and tinker with our reality in order to communicate with us. Remember that, so they can change alter our reality and the people around, time and space. Okay, because our reality is our reality after all. Okay, remember that, our reality is our reality ultimately. Okay, it is an outer manifestation of our inner world, each of us. Okay, so our internal world becomes in sync with our external world, and what we can do is to actually pay attention. we give our subconscious, our inner self, or indeed our higher self permission to sort of continue communicating with us through this way, through synchronicities. Okay, if we ignore or we dismiss the synchronicities, right, then there is actually no point in our inner or higher self trying to create synchronicities to communicate with us, because you are not responding it, right? Why should I continue to work so hard to send messages to you? You see, so because synchronicities are a pointer to instantly reflect on what's going on right now. Is there like more going on in this situation? Should I take note? Is it more than a thought? What these synchronicities happens instantly becomes mindful. Okay, it makes you mindful of the current situation that you're in. Okay, it makes you think about what is it that wants my attention, higher or inner aspects of you. So when you see certain numbers, you start, is this number trying to tell me certain things? Okay, so yeah, ask yourself this: what are they trying to draw your attention to? Is it to a team inviting you to sort of self-reflect? Or ask yourself this: how does this make me feel? What am I thinking? What can I draw from this? What are others thinking or feeling? What's the lesson? What's the experience? Okay, synchronicities always happens for a reason. Okay, use your intuition to guide you to the message. Okay, synchronicities can also be a reminder that when things go beyond the possible, right, that we are existing with reality, that it is far more than most of us think it is, that you are an infinite being in a constant, a conscious reality. Okay, it reminds you of the mystical nature of reality. It allows you to sort of believe in wonders, know that there's more to reality than meets the eye. Okay, and it can fill you full of joy and reassurance in comfort. Okay, synchronicities are also a confirmation that you're on the right path. Okay, so certain numbers points you to the right decisions and then leads on to the right path. And with this confirmation and reassurance, you're going to be okay, that the outcome of something is going to be good for you. Okay, we don't always need to seek meaning in the synchronicities, but that confirmation that reality goes beyond the thinking of the human mind is reassuring for most people. Okay, with number synchronicities, right, you may have assigned meanings to all of the numbers, but maybe when you see them, means your inner or higher self encouraging you to sort of create a meaning for that number. So you can find the default meanings for all these numbers, which I will also be sharing down the road. But end of the day, different numbers may change for different people down the road. Once you understand these numbers, you may come up with a pattern that you may use on your own meaning. Okay, we can then assign our own meanings to number patterns, and those meanings are used by our inner or higher self to communicate with us. Okay, know that the smaller synchronicities tend to lead to the bigger ones. Okay, as you work more and more with these synchronicities, and then you will begin to believe. Once you begin to believe more on synchronicities, right, that occur, the more you believe. So the more you believe, the more you occur. So same thing. Okay, it's interlinked. You can't just tell yourself to believe. Something small will have to start so that you will not freak out. Okay, everything in life is like that. But the little synchronicities, right, help us to trust in our reality more and more, which in turn leads us to bigger and more profound synchronicities happening to us. Okay, allow yourself to believe in the infinite mystical nature of our reality. Our consciousness is not separate to reality. It's all one consciousness. Remember that. And we just believe that we are separate after all. We think that everything is one, but I mentioned this before, we are all living in oneness. Okay? So it's all one reality and an extension of each of us. And therefore we can communicate with it as well as interact with it, so that we can manifest it in a different manner. Okay? She's awake now. Okay, so make sure next time, right, when you encounter synchronicities, right, write them down so they can actually serve as a form of journaling and a reminder. And I often forget to write down all these experiences. So I was actually asking my wife what has happened to us significantly due to all these synchronous events, right? But I can't seem to remember. Whenever I'm trying to produce videos like that, right, I can't seem to recall all these events. Okay, but know this: when you're writing all this information down, right, you can refer back and you can start to backtrack and see what are all these synchronous events leading you up to, and then you will see how accurate synchronous events are. Okay, they can be used as an indicator for you to reflect and contemplate on certain things, to come to new conclusions, have new revelations, which propels you forward on your spiritual path as you become wiser. Okay, your deeper knowledge and understanding of yourself and everything that goes on in your world. Okay, so with that, I hope you learned something from this video, and if you do, please make sure to comment your learnings in the comment section below. I'm ending this video off. It's become 20 minutes long. Okay, Pranam, Namaste.